caffeine in the afternoons. It's fine to have it in the morning. Alcohol is a personal choice, but just know it's going to disrupt your quality of sleep in a big way. Try not to look at your screen time, or try to not look at any screens just before you go to bed. Trying to minimize that. At least an hour before bed. No laptop, tablet, cell phone. And don't do anything stressful just before you go to bed. Don't read the news. I use a sound machine when I go to bed at night, an ambient noise with the little sound of water drops or the river. That works for me. For those of you who suffer from chronic pain, try and deal with that before you go to bed. So I use a little product called CBD Medic on my lower back to take the edge off of pain sometimes. So whatever it is, your favorite pillow, earplugs, whatever works for you, just make more of an effort to sleep properly.
It's interesting, Harley. Everyone I've been talking to lately, from celebrities to authors, anyone around, they all saying the phone, stay away from the phone at night. Gosh, the phone.
It tells your brain that it's time to be alert. And it's daytime, and that's very confusing when you're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, hopefully we're teaching these kids the same thing. It's not easy at all. Are you live from a farm?
I am live from a farm. Well, you're not going to believe this. I am in Pixley, California.
Okay.
And I'm on Bob and Arlene Vander Eyck's dairy farm. I woke up this morning at 3 a.m. I have completely been overwhelmed with curiosity of what is it like to be on a dairy farm, and what does it do to the environment, and what does it do to my body, dairy. And you're not going to believe, I expected to see a farmer with overalls and a straw hat and a pitchfork on a tractor, and I pulled up, and the first thing I saw was almost 4,000 solar panels.
Stop! Don't ruin it for me. I want the overalls.
And so but it's crazy. Over half the farm is powered by the sun.
Wow.
And then I expected to see these giant piles of manure. You hear these stories of back in the day on dairy farms and how manure can cause greenhouse gases, but there's no piles of manure. Instead, I see a giant reservoir covered with this dome with these pipes coming from it. And he says the manure is in there. And that's what's it doing in there? He said it's being converted to methane and being sold as energy back into the grid.
Wow.
And I said, wait, this is really? And then I wanted to see what cows eat. I didn't know. I mean, what do horses eat? Straw? I mean, I don't know anything about farming. What do cows eat? I had no idea. And so then I see this giant tractor this big truck come, open its back, and drops the biggest thing of mashed carrots you've ever seen, because it came from a carrot juice manufacturer down the road. So after they juice the carrots, they bring all the pulp to the cow farm, to the dairy farm, and it's mixed in. Instead of being thrown in a land farm, it's actually included in the feed of the cows. And then another truck comes and drops off all these grapes that were used to make wine. And after they make the wine, instead of throwing the grapes in the landfill, they bring them here and they mix it in with the feed. And then I see them bring all this wheat and corn from another part of the farm that they grow here on the farm, and they fertilize that with the manure of the cows, and that's brought in. So it's just this amazing system of reusing, recycling, and just very, incredibly environmentally efficient.
That's so cool. You think, what is the celebrity trainer nutritionist doing on a farm? Well, we are what we eat, right?
We are what we eat, and my background is in food sciences, and I'm always been fascinated to know about what goes in our body and what goes into making what goes into our body.
It's
and you hear a lot about greenhouse gases. So from what I understand, the carbon footprint or the greenhouse footprint on a glass of milk has been reduced by 70% in the last 70 years.
Wow. Amazing. If you just tune in, I'm talking to celebrity trainer nutritionist Harley Pasternak. He's also the New York Times bestselling author whose books include 5-Factor Fitness, 5-Factor Diet, the 5-Factor World Diet, the Body Reset Diet, the Body Reset Diet Cookbook. So much. Is there going to be another book?
I think there will. I've got some ideas. If you have any, give them to me, and I'll mention you in the front. I'll thank you for everything.
A day in the life of training. What's up with Wendy? Okay, how can we eat more balanced? It's so hard.
I think in that sentence is really the call out of what we need to do. It's really about balance. It's not about eliminating food groups or fasting until 2 p.m. or there's just so many radical diets today, more than I've ever seen. And the more radical, the less likely you're going to stick to it. I eat 3 meals a day and a couple snacks, and every meal should have a quality protein. So think about eggs, dairy, fish, healthy fats like nuts, seeds, olives, and lots of vegetables and high-fiber fruits, and just cut out refined sugars. That's really all you need to worry about.
Refined sugars. Okay. That's good to know. All right. What are your go-to exercises and how much? I'm a big walker. That's like what I found that I like to walk, to ride my bike. Is it important as long as we love what we're doing, doesn't that help a lot?
I think that's a big part of it. Walking is by far the most important exercise you can do. You can do it anyhow, anywhere, with anyone. You don't need equipment. Easy on your joints. The healthiest populations in the world all walk over 11,000 steps a day. So I think walking is the first thing you need to do. And the second thing you need to do is really strengthen your body. And a lot of people leave that out. They just worry about cardio. There's a move called the Harley. And no, I did not call it the Harley. Good Morning America called it the Harley. And it's a simple move to help you strengthen your posterior chain, all the muscles in the back of your body, lying on the ground, with your feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, a dumbbell in each hand, arms up to the ceiling and hips all the way up to the ceiling, and then hinge your elbows, bring the dumbbells down on either side of your ear as your hips come down, and everything goes up, everything goes down. So your glutes, your hamstrings, your triceps, it's a great simple movement.
Oh, that is a good simple movement. It sounds good. And drinking water, so important, right?
Staying hydrated, fluids. It doesn't only have to be water. But water is important. Trying to have 6 to 8 glasses of water a day or 2 to 3 liters of fluids a day. And we often confuse dehydration with hunger. So the hydration is very important. And try to make sure that what you're drinking does not have added sugars.
Okay, that's key too. So many good things, and sleep is so important. Everyone has to remember that. And get out there and walk. And any great stories from any of the celebrities that you train?
I mean, I have stories for days. You name what you want to do. I've got a story of how Kanye and West and I, we went hiking in Oahu in Hawaii just to get some cardio, and we were so deep in conversation, just enjoying the conversation. And next thing you know, we're on the side of this hill, and there's a sign in front of us that says danger, undetonated landmines, and we realized we had stumbled in an old military installation, and we didn't know how we were going to get back.
Oh, God.
So that was one. You know, I've played basketball with LL Cool J, who was without a doubt the worst basketball player I've ever seen in my entire life. And not only could not make a basket, couldn't even hit the backboard.
Oh, God. Every
time he missed, I just said, "You're going to run the court as your cardio." And all of a sudden, after a bunch of running and missing shots, he made one. And he said, "Wow, I made one." And I said, "Great." He goes, "What do I get?" I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, if you make another shot, I'll run the court." And so I laughed, he's not going to. Without even missing a beat, he hit his next shot, and his next shot, and his next shot, and his next shot. And I realized I got sharked. He said, "I'm from New York. You don't think I can play basketball?"
That's funny. It's a good one. And we, this past week has been heartbreaking. I know you posted a picture with Kobe. Our hearts are broken for the family and all the families who lost someone in that horrible helicopter crash. But seeing that picture that you posted on Instagram, his face and your face, oh my God, just...
That was one of the best days of my life. That was... Kanye had called me the night before and said, "You're not going to believe this. Kobe wants to train us." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "He wants to put us through a workout." I said, "I've never let anybody put me through a workout. I'm the guy who puts people through workouts, but let's do it." So we woke up at some ungodly early hour and drove to Newport Beach, and Kobe was there waiting, I think at 5:30 in the morning. He was already standing there looking at his clock. He's like, "You guys are late, let's go." And he just had this passion for life. a love for basketball that I couldn't believe at his point in his career. He'd already won all these championships, and was sort of at the down part of his career, but still, all he did was talk about basketball and care about basketball and push us and drive us and lead by example and show me videos of Scottie Pippen playing defense and his footwork, and it's just he lived and breathed basketball.
Yeah.
And
lived and breathed for his family and his girls.
Yeah.
Crazy life in one split second. So that's why we have to take care of ourselves. We have to sleep, we have to exercise, we have to eat well, balanced.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's worth waking up at 3 a.m. to go see where your milk comes from, because Kobe never stopped looking for information, for how to better himself, and I think the same should apply to all of our health. Just keep pushing and driving and questioning and looking and searching. And there's so many confusing documentaries out today that all have agendas. Forget about those documentaries. You want to know something? Go find out yourself. Go to that place. You read the original source of research. Read books from scientists, from people who are not, creative people and kind of giving their interpretation of stuff. I wanted to know where my milk came from, and this is where I came to do it, and it's so cool.
It's so cool. It's so cool to be on a farm. I'm sure it is. You're one of my favorite people ever to talk to, Harley Pasternak. Thank you for joining me again. I always love your tips, and you inspire me all the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me on this episode of What's Up with Wendy. If you love this episode, head over to iTunes or your favorite platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Please also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at What's Up with Wendy. You can learn more about my podcast on my website, whatsupwithwendy.com. Until next time, this is Wendy Lowy Sloan. Keep being kind.